Peace. And y'all bless. Y'all, it's a strong one. The strong one is Yah. He's the tree of life. He's the fountain of living waters. He's the spirit and creator of all things that live and breathe. On this particular discourse, I'm going to talk about being the best you. Again, that is being the best you. Now, I'm quite sure most of you would probably say, what would make him go over such a thing like this? Because when you read about Jacob and he had 4 wives in total. But when you read about the 2 sisters, Raquel and Leah, they had a little competition going between the 2 sisters, right? And one sister was obviously more beautiful than the other. But when you read the situation, you see how really the sisters got, hell bent on being in competition with each other over childbirth, that they were doing things, that they probably should not have done. All right? Okay, so let's read the story. Let's get to it. Now, go to Genesis chapter 29. Let's start at verse number 16. All right? So being the best you. You got to be yourself. Okay? And I'm reading this mostly for the ladies. And sometimes, some certain men, they can also, resonate with this story. Because as a lot of you women get ready to go into, I would say, new households, right? In the future, all those who are going to make the Aliyah, right, and go home to the land of Israel at the appointed time. A lot of you women are going to be going into new households, A lot of you women are going to be first-time mothers. Some of you are going to be first-time mothers. Some of you are going to be queens. Some of you are going to be in different, I would say, a different style of relationship. Because in the Hebrew Israelite pantheon, the thing that is in vogue in our heritage, obviously a man can marry more than one wife. And I know that bothers a lot of females because, in America, that's not, in vogue. People only hear about that, in Utah and certain places like that, where you have some of those people wrapped up in some of those religions who try, and I'm going to say again, they try to practice polygamy, but they're usually not doing it correctly to the biblical standard anyway. So, and even though they try to tell you that, polygamy itself is against the law, if you read the law, it's really not totally against the law, not even here in America. Okay? Because at the end of the day, if people agree and they want to live together as a family, then they can do that. With or without, I would say formal marriage certificates. Okay? So that's that. But be the best you can be, ladies. Be your best. You can't worry about the next woman. You can't worry about her success because a lot of you may be around women who are very, extremely successful and probably very popular already. You may end up in a situation like that, where you're around, I would say different stars or, maybe women who could be probably, super rich or whatever the case may be, in some of the households that, some of you may be going into. And you're going to have to learn how to handle yourself around, those sort of situations. and just be the best wife you can be to your husband and represent yourself to your husband correctly all the time. Okay? Because we're getting ready to read something about that in just a second, all right? After I get finished with this little bit of dialogue. So just be the best you can be. Okay? If you feel uncomfortable about something about yourself, just work on it. Okay? Just work on it. All right? You don't have to, have surgeries and all that, you know what I mean, to improve your beauty. The biggest thing I would say for me that I look at in a woman is the heart of the woman. And I've told several women this. I look at your heart. I don't look at your beauty. I don't look at your exterior. I see you and I may admire you, okay, you look nice, you're a good looking woman. But at the end of the day, it's the heart. And see, Jacob had to learn that throughout this discourse that I'm getting ready to read. He had to learn that, okay, himself. And by the end of his life, he figured that out. That's why over in Ecclesiastes and Proverbs, it tells you about the woman's beauty and how to always beware that fact. Because sometimes beautiful women can be some of the most evil of all the women. And sometimes the most beautiful women are terrible wives. Okay? Terrible. And they have terrible hearts and horrible souls. So you have to be very, extremely careful, gentlemen, who you pick and how you pick and why you are picking them. You can't pick them just for vanity, because most men just want to feel good because they want a bunch of beautiful women around them, right? Because of this situation that they'll be in, going back home. But they need to understand one fact. Make sure you have a bunch of beautiful souls around you that you guys can go the distance. And I'm talking about go the distance. I'm talking about from the time you're married all the way to the time, it's time for you guys to leave the earth, because you want to be able to go the distance. So when you pick women that you, at least at this particular point, can see yourself going the distance. Can they make it with you? Can they run this race of life with you the whole distance? Not just run that 50-yard dash and then give up. Or run a 100-yard dash and then give up. Or run that 400-meter run all the way around the track and then give up. Get your woman that can run those miles, man. She can run them miles for you. That's the kind of woman you need, gentlemen. Since you're going to be in a situation where you can have multiple women. Okay? And like I said, not every man can have, or may want to have, let me say it like that, multiple wives, but, most of them will. And it's not a requirement that a man have multiple wives, like I've said in my previous video. It's not required that you do that. But if you want multiple wives, then you can. Okay? As long as you can take care of them, then you can have them. All right? So that's the key. All right? So without further ado, let's start at Genesis 29, verse number 16, all right? With Laban. This is Jacob's uncle, right? That he got his wives from. So he can marry your first cousin. Okay? You can marry your first cousin, right? If you guys know biblical history, you know that obviously Laban, okay, is Jacob's uncle. Okay? All right. Rebecca, this is Rebecca's brother. Okay? Isaac's wife was Rebecca. So Isaac's about Isaac, then Rebecca's his wife, and Laban is Rebecca's brother, who is the uncle of Jacob. So after Jacob and Esau had their little run in, she sent, because she heard about Esau's plan, she had sent Jacob up to Laban, to protect him for a little while until, Esau cooled off, right? All right, so we all know the biblical story. If you don't know the story, it's time for you guys to start reading this book. All right, so let's get it on. All right. And Laban had two daughters, okay? The name of the elder was Leah, and the name of the younger, keyword, she was younger, was Raquel. Leah was tender-eyed, but Raquel was beautiful, see there, and well-favored, okay? And Jacob loved Raquel and said, I will serve thee 7 years for Raquel, thy younger daughter. Woo. He made an agreement to work for his uncle for 7 years for his younger daughter, Raquel. And Laban said, it is better that I give her to thee than that I should give her to another man. So he said, abide with me. In other words, stay here with me. Okay? And Jacob served 7 years for Raquel. Okay? And they seemed unto him but a few days, for the love he had to her. And Jacob said unto Laban, give me my wife, for my days are fulfilled, that I may go in unto her. Okay? Now, I'm not going to go through the whole story, because most of us know what happened with Jacob and Laban, okay? Because during that 7 years, Jacob was so good at his job, right? He was so good at his job, he was making Laban all this money, with the sheep. Because I believe he was handling the flocks, the sheep, right, for Laban, right? And he knew how to do that thing well. So he's making, Laban rich. So Laban didn't really want to let go of Jacob, right? Because he saw that he was becoming wealthy, off of Jacob. So after all that thing happened, Jacob, he's like, he's ready to go. He's like, yo, well, let me go and have sex with her, man. I worked for her 7 years. I want her. I'm ready to get it. Okay? Well, Laban wasn't ready to do that yet, so he tricks, Jacob. Okay? He ends up tricking Jacob, and, Jacob got a little bit heated over it. Okay? For all who read the story. Then you know what happened. Okay? Because Laban goes in and disguises Leah, puts a veil over her face and sends Leah in first to Jacob. Now, apparently something was going on with Jacob where he didn't know that it wasn't Raquel because she had her face covered. So like I said, they were having this little thing, this little gathering that you read about here in verse number 22 that they're having. And I'm assuming Jacob was probably drinking or doing something where he didn't know which one was which. So Laban pulls a little trick on Jacob and sends in Leah. And, Jacob gets very upset, with Laban. That's what you read right here. Okay? All right? 25. And it came to pass that in the morning, behold, it was Leah. So he was mad, after this little feast that they had. Okay? So I've been explaining to you, right? All right, because Laban went there. He took Leah into Jacob. Told her to go in, into the tent. So Jacob, could have sex with her, right? So he did, right? Because apparently Jacob must have, like I said, had something to drink where he couldn't tell who it was because she had her face covered up. Okay, and that's also 25 again. And it came to pass that in the morning, behold, it was Leah, and he said to Laban, what is this that thou hast done unto me? Okay, Jacob's pissed off, right? Did not I serve thee for Raquel? Wherefore then hast thou beguiled me? See, he was mad. Okay? So then, Laban comes up with this excuse. Laban said, okay, it must not be done so in our country, right? To give the younger before the firstborn. Okay? So he tricks him, says, fulfill her week, right? Okay? And we will give thee this also for the service. Check it out. For the service which thou shalt serve with me yet 7 other years. See, he tricked him. See, what he actually really wanted was to keep Jacob working for him. He said, I got to keep you working for me, man, because I'm getting rich off of you, man. You know what I mean? That's what happened. So he tricked him by sending this other woman in to him, with her face covered, which, was, Leah, the sister, right? Okay? So as you see right here, Rachel was the younger. So he gonna come up with this tradition. It's not done in our country, to give the younger before the firstborn, before the older sister, as it tells you right here in verse number 16. Obviously Leah's the elder. She was the oldest of the two sisters of Leah and Raquel. So, but actually that's what it was. So he's like, fill her week 7 years. So he's like, working on the 7 years for me, and I'll give her to you also. You can have Raquel after that. You know what I mean? Because by that time, Jacob was very heated. Okay, after that happened. So as we move along in the story, we see that Leah was the first one to conceive. Okay, all right. Even though you guys see also obviously that Jacob agreed to go ahead and work another 7 years. Right, so because he loved, Raquel, check it out. See, notice he loved also Raquel more than Leah, right, and served him yet, 7 other years. Okay, see, remember he's all flabbergasted over how she's looking to him. He's not looking at the heart. You see, because God has his funny way with things. Even though Jacob did not favor Leah. Because apparently, Leah, didn't look the way he wanted her to look, right? She conceived first. Okay? That's what starts this big heated battle between the two sisters, okay? And this big competition between the two sisters. She conceived first, see right here. And Leah conceived and bare a son, okay? And she called his name Reuben, firstborn, right? Okay, until he made that infraction with his father, right, Jacob? Anyway, as you go through the story, you read about things. You see all through here. Now, this is the 12 tribes being born. You see right here at verse number 32. All right, from Leah. Okay, she was the first one to conceive. I'm saying, but this is the beginning of the 12 tribes. All these sons coming through, right? From Reuben and all the way on to Simeon, and then here comes Levi, etc., etc. Okay, so all this time, hey. Leah, the so-called one who was less favored, she's the only one, that's actually having any sons or bearing any fruit for Jacob, okay? So Raquel was bothered by that. So here we go, okay? Here the competition goes, right? And when Raquel saw, talking about her sister, she bare Jacob no children, right? Raquel envied her sister. Okay, so she remember this is the so fine woman. Woo, she's so fine, yeah, but she wasn't bearing no fruit. But that was God, though. That was God. But anyway, okay. So let's keep on reading. Raquel envied her sister and said unto Jacob, "Give me children, or else I die." So she gonna come put the pressure on Jacob. You know what I mean? And Jacob's anger was kindled against Raquel. So he got upset. Almost like a soap opera, right? And he said, "Am I in God's stead?" They're in an argument now, you know what I mean? "Am I in God's stead, who have withheld from thee the fruit of the womb?" He's yelling at her because he heated, you know what I mean? And she said, "Behold, my maid Bilhah, go in unto her, and she shall bear upon my knees," right? That I, a surrogate, right? Okay, that I may also have children by her. So she got desperate. Okay, she got desperate. So she gives her handmaiden, which is a helper, right? Back in the Hebrew days, right? She gives her handmaiden to Jacob sleep with to get children, so she could claim those were hers. Okay, and then Leah does the same thing, okay, because she had a handmaid. She said, okay, well, she did that, so I'm going to go do the same thing. So she goes and gets Zilpah, right, the other one, okay, and then she ends up doing the same exact thing, right here. You read that right here. And Zilpah, Leah's maid, bear a son, Jacob a son, okay? So I'm just showing you how these two ladies ended up getting into this competition with each other, you know what I mean? And I'm also showing how Jacob was so wrapped up in Raquel's look. See, remember what it tells you. Raquel was beautiful and well-favored. As, Leah was kind of tender-eyed, you know what I mean? Okay? But Raquel herself was very beautiful and well-favored, right? So So that's that. So the deal was, at the end of the story, if you guys go read this, that you see that Jacob wanted to be buried next to Leah and not Raquel, okay? Because of all Raquel's treachery, you know what I mean? We don't know exactly everything that went on, during, this marriage. It doesn't tell you everything in the book that went on, but for Jacob to say, go, bury me next to Leah, I mean, that was a big deal for him to say that. Hey, man, bury me next to Leah when I die. Though that was the instructions, he gave, right? He given, okay? He said, bury me next to Leah when I die. Whatever you do, okay? Don't bury me next to Raquel. So, anyway, so the key is that beauty itself isn't always the biggest thing in the world, okay? When it comes to a woman. Like I said, look for women you can go the distance with. You know what I mean? That's the key to it. Look for women that you can go the distance with. However long your life is, it's like a marathon run. It's like running a marathon. And you're running with your wives, one wife or two wives or three wives, whatever the case is. Some cases up to 7 wives, right? Look for women that you can go the distance with. Don't always keep looking to, their beauty or who's got the best looking face, the best looking body. Because, sometimes the women that start off very beautiful, when they get older, they look horrible sometimes. So you got to take that into account. So don't always look at beauty. So come here and read this story about Raquel and Leah. And it teaches you, especially you gentlemen. Okay? And as for you ladies, don't always let your jealousies get up in you about seeing another woman be beautiful, because you don't know what the cause is for the reason that, she may be around you, or she might end up being your sister wife, whatever the case is. Admire yourself and admire your own traits and whatever God's given you. Just be your best. Be the best you. Like I said at the very beginning of this story, that's why I kind of read this to you. Okay? Be the best that you can be in whatever you can offer your husband. Okay? All right? Very important that you understand that on your way home. Okay? Like I said, many of you are going to land in situations like that. Okay? There might be 2 or 3 women in there, all of them bangers, all of them is bomb, you know what I mean? All 10s, but maybe you're that 7. But see, look what happened with Raquel. Raquel was a 10. Leah probably was that 7. Right? But what happened? At the end of Jacob's life, he said, look, bury me next to Leah and not next to Raquel. Okay? People say Rachel, it's actually Raquel. Okay? Raquel. See the little mark right there on the A? It's Raquel. Okay? So anyway, the key is that she was a beautiful woman and well favored, but she wasn't the best woman for Jacob. Leah, okay, she was a little tender-eyed, whatever the case is, right? But she ended up being the best woman for Jacob. And God blessed her womb first. You see what I'm saying? Blessed her first to have children. Okay? All right, but what happened to Raquel? But Raquel was barren. See that in verse number 31? Okay? When Yah had saw, okay, that Leah was hated. You see that? See, that was the reason why the situation happened. Look at that. When Yah saw that Leah was hated, right? He opened her womb, but Raquel was barren. Okay? All right? In this situation, right, where they were wives, okay, together, all right? Simple as that. All right? When he saw that, he's like, he said, okay, Jacob, I got something for you. Okay? Raquel's all beautiful, but she's not going to bear for a little while. So it was also Yah kind of teaching Jacob a little lesson, you know what I mean? Because, basically, he had given Leah, as a wife, to Jacob. Right? Right. Okay. But Jacob was caught up on looks. Okay. But by the end of Jacob's life, he realized, he said, yo, hey, bury me next to Leah and not Raquel. Remember that? Remember that? Proverbs 31. Okay? Beauty is vain. Okay? But that woman that praises the Most High, Yah, she gonna be praised. Alright? Remember that. Raquel was beautiful and well favored. But beauty is vain. Okay? So that's for you gentlemen. As you're picking your wives that you pick, you know what I mean? Each one of them is going to offer something a little bit different. So keep that in mind, okay? Each one of them will offer you something different, okay? So be able to look at the woman's talent, her heart, or her skills all across the board. Don't just be like, Jacob and look at how beautiful the woman is. Okay, make sure she can offer things other, above and beyond her beauty. Okay? So you don't get yourself into a situation like Raquel and Leah. Because you see how the Most High handled that. You know what I mean? So I said, okay. Since he hates his wife, well, she gonna be the one who bears first. And the Most High opened her womb. But Raquel, the Most High says, oh man, she was barren. Okay, for a long time. That's what, got these ladies in this whole baby having competition. You know what I mean? All right. So that's why Raquel got upset with Jacob, and then you got the, days of our lives going right here. You know what I mean? When Raquel saw that she couldn't bear no children, she was wondering why. So, she kind of, blamed it on Jacob, his performance. Oh, it's you. You know what I mean? You're not going in me enough, or whatever the case is. Whatever she was thinking, the problem was we're not having enough sex, or who knows what she might have said. You can only just summarize by what we're reading. Who knows what might have been said, but we know the argument took place about it. That's why Jacob got angry with her. Like, look, man, I'm not in the state of God. I can't give you no children. You know what I'm saying? I can't do that. You know what I'm saying? So, very, very, very interesting story to go read and teach you, ladies and gentlemen, about, favoring beauty. Don't always favor beauty. Okay? Look into that person's heart and see what kind of person they really are. And if they can run those miles with you around these, I would call this marathon of life. Roll with those women, gentlemen. Roll with those women. Okay? All right? So that's it. And women, it doesn't always have to be the richest man you're looking for. Look for you a good man, a good husband who can provide for you and take care of you and love you and take care of your needs. All right? And most of all, teach you about Yah. Teach you about his law. Because that's the most important thing that he can do in your life. And run that distance with you. Very important that you understand that. So you guys go read Genesis 29. Read about Raquel and Leah and about the situation with Jacob. And let it teach you to be the best you can be. Okay? All right? And always look through patient eyes at a person. Always look patiently. And don't look at beauty all the time. Okay? Don't look at beauty all the time. Look at the heart. All right? Because you guys see who conceived first. The one that was not well favored. Okay? She was the one who actually gave Jacob his first sons. Okay? Now Raquel did eventually bear, but it was a long time before she did. And because of that, she ended up doing what? Giving Jacob her handmaid. She said, take my handmaid, let her be a surrogate for me. That way I can say I have children. That's how desperate she was. And then Leah, being her sister, she's like, okay, you're going to do that. Okay, I'm going to do the same thing then. I'm going to go get my handmaid, Zilpah. Okay? And she bare a son, okay? And that's where the 12 tribes of what they call Israel were born from. All 4 of those ladies, okay? All right. So remember this lesson. It's just a lesson about being the best you can be. All right. Especially for all you women going over to Israel to make the Aliyah. Coming up soon. Hope to see you all there in Jerusalem. Peace. And y'all bless.